Excuse me. Welcome back to Love Anime Review Part 4. This is discussing episodes 14 to 17. Now, 14 is a mixture of a little bit of canon and mostly a lot of anime riddle stuff. Now, this continues for something from episode 13, where Lala's father challenged to be the greatest man in the universe. This is going to plot fit for only for this episode and the following one, believe it or not. Yes. Yeah, that's why 15, 16 are basically two loosely connected episodes in a way. Yep. It looks like to me, yeah. I mean, it's mostly like an episode 15, and 16 is completely something else altogether, which I'll get to that. Now, they used up a little bit of the manga here. Now, they used up the opening bit here, except they changed the reasoning of why this scene is happening. In the anime, basically, in order to clear his head, Rito decides to go for a jog. In the manga, the reason why he's running at this time of day is because they're chasing after Lala after one of their arguments. Okay, fine. And just by sheer coincidence, he just happens to run into Haruna in a park. And they start this thing almost every day. They go to the park together, they talk, and they go to do exercise, build muscle up. And there's this really kind of hilarious scene where he's basically checking himself out in the mirror, completely naked. And his sister walks in. And she's and of course she doesn't see his groin. Thank God for that. It'd probably be kind of awkward for a 12-year-old girl to basically to see her older brother's groin. That would be something that would not be okay. And she's there because apparently in Japanese households, apparently the bathroom is connected to the laundry room for reasons. It's probably something they do in Japan. I'm not really sure of why in the world this has to be this way. It is. Yep. Now, in the case of basically what happens after that, after many days of this, basically we see that we get used to Haruna's sister. Now, this scene is canon for the manga. Yes, this is actually the only bit they adapt for the manga aside from the opening chapter that they changed it. Though, the big change here is that they cut out Lala out of the scene and mostly it's still kind of the same where it's most like a lot of the dialogue that Lala basically is saying from the manga was given to Haruna's sister who appears in this episode. And also, they don't show here in the actual anime itself, but in the manga, when Lala is here, guess what they do? They have a conversation in the bathroom when they're bathing in the nude. Yep, the manga, I should point out though, has got tons of nudity in it. Yes, and the anime kind of shows this occasionally. It's basically very briefly, not like a whole several panels of it. This is not like High School DxD, where they show nudity a lot in the series, or Rosario plus Vampire, other series. So, and we see that we kind of get closer and closer to, and at one point we have Rito coming to the park in the middle of rain. Then, of course, why is Haruna in the park? She's walking her dog. At one point, her dog is knocking in the water. Rito saves the dog. So Haruna takes him back to her apartment. Technically, this is her sister's apartment. And, of course, he rapidly asks, where are your parents? They are out of town. And, basically, she's living here with her sister's place. So, she's doing some errands. She's basically spending time with friends. And he's basically sitting in her room. Yes, he's sitting in her bedroom, wearing nothing but a towel. And then they talk about the top of high school. This is probably some dialogue they transfer from Lala to him for some reason. Probably get a lot more something to do in the actual episode. Let's see. Oh, yes. And then, of course, we have this really kind of awkward scene where it's an interesting moment where Haruna basically trips over some books she has on the floor of her bedroom. And, of course, Rito tries to save her. And look like they're close to each other, and they're about to kiss, and then Haruna's sister walks in, and then Rito's towel basically drops, and basically looks like they're both Haruna and of course her sister both see Rito naked. As far as I can tell for Haruna, I think this is the second time in the actual anime that she's kind of seen him in the nude. So he just runs out, covers himself up, and just runs out of the room. And he got depressed, but basically everything works out fine. The very next episode is quite interesting. They kind of continue another plot thread from, this is similar to what they did from episode 13, where we have everybody basically in the pool, just swimming, and then Zest shows up because an ally of the Devil Luke shows up, and he basically invites Lala to do a diplomatic function. And of course, well, Rito comes along, and Haruna basically just dragged along because she just happened to be dragged in the beam, and the beamed up to. Of course, they also figure out that everybody figures that all the supporting characters find out that Lala is an alien. Yep, they find out she's an alien, which that's interesting. I mean, it took them about 15 episodes to figure that out. She showed up. Yep, and we see that their dress attire is 19th century dress uniforms, like dress attire. I'm like, what? Like, why would the Devil Lukes basically adapt from the 17th century style of dress? With the ascots, which, okay, fine. And we see that Lala is dancing with a prince. No, this is not one of those things where, a prince shows up because he wants to marry Lala because she's hot. This guy has no interest in Lala. Apparently, he drives his castle like a freaking spaceship. And then we see this wonderful little moment where Haruna and Rito are dancing, which I thought this was really neat for the anime to do this. And then we see that he gets used himself as as Lala's fiance. He's like, okay, no problem with that. Let's do a game. Like, what kind of game? We're hunting. Hunting. Where? We have a preserve in South America. Yep, they have a preserve in South America. A canyon underneath this valley. I'm not sure this is real or not. Which when they go there, and apparently the attire they go down there is basically have everybody dressed up like they're from caveman times. No, seriously, that's what they dress as. Like have the prince carry on a boomerang. We have Zest who's there too. He takes off his armor, puts on a freaking leopard skin Speedo. Rito puts on a traditional loincloth. Lala puts on a bikini style, thinks that she's basically from 10,000 BC. In the case of Haruna, her outfit reminds me of Nova from Planet of the Apes. Especially with the special edition of having a flower in her hair. So, Mike, if you watch the episode, there's tons of references to outside stuff like 10,000 BC, basically Lala's outfit. And, of course, well, like I said, Haruna's outfit is a reference to Planet of the Apes. Mostly. And they go down to the preserve, which almost looks exactly like the Savage Land from Marvel Comics. Heck, they have a freaking T-Rex, a saber-tooth tiger, a giant spider, and then they have a scene that's a complete ripoff of King Kong, where we have this creature known as GalaxyCon, even though the anime can tell, yeah, that's King Kong finding a T-Rex, even though we don't have that awesome moment like they do in the movies, where we have the thing just basically break the thing's jaw. Instead, he proceeds to pick the thing up and throw it away. I'm like, what a lame way to end a fight. And then they decided to rip off not only the 33 and 2005 King Kong, they apparently decided to rip off 1977 King Kong. Well, this is actually common with King Kong today. They take Haruna, and apparently Galaxy Kong is a pervert. Or he proceeds to open up her leg to see what's underneath. I'm like, do we have a perverted ape on our hands? Why is almost every single male character in the series just happens to be a pervert, except for the main character, even though it's implied for him? Everyone else, yeah, they're full-blown perverts. I'm like, really? Why in the world would the anime depict all men this way? Not all men are freaking perverts. So, then eventually, something more weird happens. Instead of having these Amazon, and we have these group of women show up, these Amazons. I'm like, since when Amazon's black? I'm like, that was kind of weird. Of course, these look like jungle Amazons. And what do? They kidnap Rito in order to have themselves a I am ashamed to say this, they want to have an orgy with him. No, seriously, that's seriously what they want to do. Because every single woman in this tribe wants to sleep with him. Yeah, it's a recurring trope in the series that every single character wants him. Every single woman, with the exception of his sister, she's the only one. Yeah, every single, that's what it seems like. Oh yeah, by the way, the leader of the Amazons apparently decided not to wear appropriate, a top, or apparently, let's have one of the breasts exposed for some reason, only covered up by her hair. I'm like, if you can wear a battle top, at least cover up both breasts. Don't cover up just one. And then she takes a part of the armor and it looks like she's about to basically do the dirty deed. And lucky enough, Lala shows up to basically beat the crap out of them. Though they're saved by Haruna, who tells GalaxyCon, hey, save my Yuki. Because it's not implied. She does have feelings for him. And in case you're curious though, does Lala ever find out about this in the manga? Yes, and she has no problem with this at all. Yeah, she has no problem with the fact that Haruna's got feelings for him. Feeling for Rito. Lala's too. They both love him. All women love him. So apparently she and of course the prince wow, she claimed the legendary GalaxyCon. I'm like, by the way, he's called GalaxyCon because he wears a freaking battle helmet. I'm not kidding about this, seriously does. And then we cut to, apparently she wakes up and there's a giant trophy in her room. I'm like, okay, basically the contest was to claim the greatest hunter in the universe. And I'm like, okay, so Haruna wins because she claims GalaxyCon. Okay, that's interesting. Yep. Now, in the case of 16, another one of these, let's have all the female characters wear bikinis. Even Golden Darkness is in this episode and the following one. So, yeah, so, all the girls take, of course, Lala invites Rito along to this park. And it seems as though, the way it's implied, written by the episode, by talking about the animation, it's implied, though, that Rito's already in a relationship, not only with Lala, but also with Haruna as well, because she sits next to him. It's very implied. And the whole episode is not focused on Rito. Oh, no, it's focused on Rune. Yes, the woman who can also change to a guy whenever she sneezes. At least not splashed with water, like it was the Warhammer half. So she spends the whole episode trying to confess to him that, he already kind of knows that she's got a thing for him, and she's trying to get him to notice him. And one of her attempts is one of the most strangest things I've seen. Have these space piranhas, but instead of eating flesh, they eat swimsuits. So all the girls get their tops ripped off. And lucky enough that somehow they find out that it's her. And then, of course, Rito says something mean to her, and she runs away, and she tries to get famous because somehow their teacher is there at this park. I'm like, when the heck did he get there? And she becomes famous. And then she's attacked by a group of thugs. And, of course, Rito saves her, basically, being the good gentleman he is. Though he takes a punch, though Lala takes her big water gun and basically blasts them. Also, this very woman is there, too. Yeah, all the girls basically are here, with the exception of the rich girl. She's I would say a majority of the women are here. And then we have episode number. After the episode is basically everybody leaving, and Rune's my battle for Rito's love is beginning. Yep, though she doesn't appear in the next episode. Nope. Now, online this episode, it says adapts from chapter 56. Where I look it up? Nope, it does not adapt just from chapter 56. This episode, like in the case of episode number 11, this one also adapts from 4 chapters of the manga. No, I'm not kidding about that. It seriously does. I checked. They made some slight changes here and there, but yeah, they adapt 4 full chapters for this one episode. Yes, the thing says, oh yeah, also original. Did the people who wrote the Wikipedia article not do more research? Because the way I looked, when I saw the anime and looked at the manga, yeah, this one adapted from 4 chapters. Though they did make some small cuts here and there. And like in the case of episode 11, it's pretty faithful to the source material, which kudos for the anime for doing it. It's one of the rare times they do it. Yep, so Basically, we have Rito, Haruna, Lala, the disciplinary girl. Darkness is here as well. She's still partway through the story. They cut out a bit, basically, where she gets groped by the girls. But I'll get to that. So, basically, there's this haunted house on the school. Okay? So, yeah. So, there's a haunted house in the school. So, they all go check it out. And, of course, this woman basically is there too. I think her name is Tanisha, I think her name is. So, they check the place out. And, of course, there's ghosts. And, of course, various monsters, stuff like that. And, like in the manga, their teacher shows up at the very end. Oh, yeah, and also there's this weird bit, basically, where there's one of these creatures who does this trick with this strange-looking monster. So, I'm glad the fact they kept this in the manga. Which, this is cool, the fact they did this. We actually have Haruda picking up Rito and using him as a freaking bat, like a bat, to beat the crap out of this thing. Though in the anime it's over really quick, in the manga it's a little bit longer. And when they use the darkness to the girls, because they find out she's an alien, like, oh, she's so cute. And of course, also, yes, they do keep it in the manga where Rito basically, accidentally grabs her breast. They kind of, in a way, merge two scenes into one. Basically, they kind of have both scenes happen like right after another, where the girls get used to her and they start playing with her. They actually don't have it where in the manga they actually pulled up her skirt and start groping her. In the anime, they don't do that at all. Nope. If you're a male, if you're like, really? They cut out that? Why the heck would they cut out that really cool, like really good moment? Nope. And it turns out that the whole ghost thing, which is basically four aliens. And of course, when the nurse shows up, hey, this woman here, she's the first Princess Neverloop, and she's basically the universe's greatest assassin, Darkness. Like, oh crap! I'm sorry. Can you please forgive us for all the bullcrap we did to you? Like, fine. So in the anime, they actually have to get supposedly jobs at this haunted house. Which when they get there, it turns out they close down. Though they later turn into a hostess club with them dressing in drag. Yep. But I gotta say, of these episodes, none of them are bad. None of these ones you can skip over. I mean, they're all really good. I mean, I like the little bit of canon stuff when they find out how the girls find out that Lala's an alien. I thought that was really cool, the fact of that. All in all, dang good set of episodes, and I can't wait for the next 4 episodes, which I probably won't get a chance to view those tonight. I'll probably view it tomorrow. I have like 2 more videos to cover for this main series, and of course the OVAs, Mod to Love Ru, which that will be concluded this preview series. And yes, I will eventually, discuss To Love Ru Darkness, which this one's a lot more adult than this series is. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. My next view is another comic corner. You're like, really? Another comic corner already? 3 in 1 day. It's been a while since I did that. Yep, this one's discussing 2 Deadpool trades. Yep, 2 next video. Bye.